The financial mistake keeping most people broke. Most people think being broke is caused by one big mistake, a bad investment, a terrible business decision, a major financial disaster, a job loss, a market crash, or some kind of unexpected emergency. And while those things can absolutely hurt financially, they are usually not the reason people stay broke for years. Because if you look closely at the financial lives of millions of people, you notice something surprising. Most people don't become broke overnight, and they don't stay broke because of one giant mistake. Instead, they stay broke because of one small financial habit that quietly controls almost every decision they make. A habit so common that most people don't even realize they're doing it. In fact, society encourages it. Advertising depends on it. Companies profit from it. Social media celebrates it. And entire industries are built around keeping this habit alive.
So what is the financial mistake keeping most people broke? It's simple. Most people spend money they haven't earned yet. And that single habit creates a chain reaction that can trap someone financially for decades. Now, before you think this is just about credit cards, it's much bigger than that. Much bigger. Because this mistake affects how people think, how they spend, how they save, how they invest, and ultimately, how they build their entire financial future. Let's break it down. Part 1. The day the trap begins. Imagine someone gets their first steady income. For the first time in life, money is arriving consistently. At first, everything seems fine. Bills are manageable. Expenses are reasonable. Life feels under control. Then something happens. A new phone is released. A nicer car becomes available. A better apartment looks tempting. A vacation appears affordable. Not affordable because cash exists, affordable because monthly payments exist. And this is where the trap begins. Because modern finance has transformed expensive purchases into small monthly decisions. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" people ask, "Can I afford the payment?" Those are completely different questions, and that difference changes everything. Part 2. The monthly payment illusion. The modern economy runs on one powerful idea: monthly affordability. Because almost anything can look cheap when divided into small payments. A $2,000 purchase suddenly becomes only $59 per month. A vehicle becomes only $699 per month. A furniture package becomes only $120 per month. A luxury lifestyle becomes only a little more each month. And slowly, without realizing it, people begin stacking payments. One payment, then another, then another, then another, until eventually, most future income is already spoken for before it even arrives. Think about how crazy that is. Someone works all month, gets paid, and a large percentage immediately disappears to obligations created months or years earlier. This is spending future money before it arrives. And it's one of the biggest reasons people feel trapped. Part 3. The invisible wealth killer. Now here's where things become really dangerous, because the real cost isn't the payment. The real cost is opportunity. Every dollar committed to debt is a dollar that cannot build wealth, cannot be invested, cannot be saved, cannot create future freedom. And over time, those missed opportunities become enormous. Imagine two people, both earn the same income. One constantly commits future income through payments. The other keeps obligations low and invests consistently. For a while, their lives look similar. Maybe the spender even appears more successful. Better car, better gadgets, more visible lifestyle. But 10 years later,
The outcomes often look completely different because wealth isn't built by appearance. It's built by ownership. And ownership requires available capital, not endless payments. Part 4. Why high income doesn't save people. One of the biggest myths in personal finance is this: if I earned more money, my financial problems would disappear. Sometimes that's true, but often it isn't. Because income alone does not create wealth. Behavior creates wealth. There are people earning 6 figures who feel financially stressed. There are people earning impressive salaries who have almost no savings. There are people making more money than ever, yet feeling more trapped than ever. Why? Because every income increase was matched by a lifestyle increase. A better house, a newer vehicle, a larger payment, a more expensive routine. And suddenly, nothing changed. The paycheck grew, but freedom didn't. That's the danger of spending future income. The cycle simply expands. Part 5. The psychology of being broke. Now let's talk about something most people never discuss. Being broke isn't only financial, it's psychological. Because when every paycheck is already committed, stress increases. Flexibility disappears. Opportunities become harder to pursue. Risk becomes scarier. And decision-making becomes reactive. Instead of asking, "What's the best choice?" people start asking, "What's the safest choice?" And while safety is important, constantly operating from financial pressure limits growth. It limits creativity. It limits opportunity. It limits freedom. That's why financial stability feels so powerful. Not because money solves everything, because money creates options. And options create freedom. Part 6. The difference between consumers and builders. Here's one of the biggest differences between financially successful people and everyone else. Consumers ask, "What can this money buy?" Builders ask, "What can this money become?" Read that again because it sounds simple, but it changes everything. One mindset focuses on consumption. The other focuses on transformation. One sees money as a tool for immediate pleasure. The other sees money as a tool for future freedom. And over decades, those mindsets create radically different outcomes. Not because one person is smarter, not because one person is luckier, but because one person consistently gives money a chance to grow, while the other constantly spends it before it can. Part 7. The moment everything changes. The turning point happens when someone stops living from paycheck to paycheck. Not because they suddenly become rich, but because they stop committing every future dollar. They build savings. They reduce unnecessary obligations. They create breathing room. And breathing room changes everything. For the first time, a financial emergency doesn't feel catastrophic. An opportunity becomes possible. A setback becomes manageable, and life becomes less reactive. This is the stage where real wealth building begins, not at $1 million, not at $100,000, but at the moment someone stops selling their future for today's comfort. Part 8. The hardest truth about money. The hardest truth in personal finance is this: most people are not broke because they don't earn enough. They're broke because every dollar has already been assigned a job before it arrives. Think about that. The paycheck isn't the problem. The obligations are. The future spending commitments are. The lifestyle expansion is. The endless payments are. And until those things change, more income often changes less than people expect, because the real issue isn't money coming in. It's money leaving too quickly. Final thought. So, what is the financial mistake keeping most people broke? It's not investing too little. It's not choosing the wrong stock. It's not missing a business opportunity. It's spending tomorrow's money today, again and again, month after month, year after year. Because every time future income gets committed, future freedom gets reduced. And every time money is allowed to stay, grow, and compound, future freedom increases. That's the game. Not earning more, not looking rich, not impressing people, but creating enough space between income and spending for wealth to actually grow. Because in the end, the people who escape being broke aren't always the ones who make the most money. They're often the ones who stop borrowing from their future and start building it instead.